It's a new life for me, yeah. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. It's a new life for me. Woo, 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 woo.
What up? You already know what it is. It's your boy Mo 804, man. Just about to get going this morning. Just picked up last night out here in Idaho. Lewiston, not town, Lewiston, Idaho. So I'm just doing a pre-tripping, man, and looking over my triz up, making sure ain't nobody vandalize your boy overnight. Plus, even though you can try to do a good pre-trip on a trailer in the dark, there's so much you may miss that I wouldn't want to get up this morning and keep it moving and feel like I know I'm good. My real purpose for making this particular video today, in light of a lot of the recent information, a lot of the recent conversations, a lot of the recent allegations. That's my lawyer talk. All those recent discoveries. I just feel like if I can, if I may, and if you'll have me, I just want to be able to build and give my understanding of YTTA. By the way, I don't pull my hoodie back out too, just to make it known. Come on, man. I'm trying to get up all these doggone, cause I'm about to check a lot of my fluids and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, pull the hoodie back out, just to let it be known how official it is. But yeah, my understanding, or I'm gonna name this, my understanding of YTTA, or I should say my understanding of the history of YTTA, and why my personal my understanding of the history of YTTA and why my loyalty will never waver. Now, I've been an admin, or been made admin of the network page. It's been a while now, definitely a good amount of months that I can't even straight remember how long, but since being an admin, I know I've accepted countless members to the fold, so to speak. So I know since my involvement, technically involvement probably over a year ago, but awareness of YTTA and just, communicating with individuals in YTTA, it's been probably knocking on 2 years now. So I feel qualified, like I said, to give my understanding of the history from my point of view. That's all I got. If I'm wrong and stand to be corrected, I'm a 42-year-old man. I've been wrong on many occasions before, and I will accept, any kind of correction if it's valid, while I try to check my oil and all this stuff too. So hopefully it don't blow up for y'all. When I first found out about YTTA, it was through various videos. I thought I had my glasses on. Mainly Trucker Brown videos and Lil Sean videos. I'm gonna say those two. Those two are probably the main people that that garnered my attention, that captured, you know, my eye, my mental. But I say overall, my actual connection in somebody that, as soon as I got an understanding of their mentality, we connected instantly, even though they didn't even know me. They didn't even know they had that kind of effect on me. They didn't know any of that. Was Sean Brown, aka TB, aka Trucker Brown, and the self-proclaimed Big Beezy. I sat at home many days studying, you know, trying to get my CDL, watching his videos, and like I said, he put the battery in my back. Now, with that being said, I looked at a lot of those videos. You know, he made mention of Zello, which was or is a app on phones, whether it's iOS or Android, where you kind of use it like a walkie-talkie feature. It may be common knowledge to a lot of y'all who's been around for a while, but to some of the people who haven't been around that long, you may not have or had no idea of what I'm talking about. But on that app, you know, there was a lot of trucking information being given, a lot of camaraderie being made, a lot of friendships, a lot of bonds being made and built. So I had no idea that that trucking world existed like that. And I mean, not to be one against another or anything like that, but I had no idea that black people had a forum, you know what I mean, of that magnitude that I could relate to. So once I found out about it, it was like, yo, like this trucking thing is definitely for me. Like, there's dudes on here that's with similar backgrounds, you know, that done took chances. Excuse me, I don't know if you've seen that spit. That took chances and gambled with their life, you know, and now have the opportunity to do something legit that they can make some good bread with and take care of their family and enjoy life. So I'm like, yo, this is it. So I jumped head in. You know, a lot of times I was working at FedEx then, so a lot of times I it's not about full. That oil getting dark though. I think I posted a question the other day about changing oil. I think I'm about to be up next. But so I'm gonna top that off. But yeah, so I was all in. You know, I used to be in there, like I said, working at FedEx, listening to people. I didn't have nothing to say. You know, I'm not even a newbie. I'm probably what's it called? I'm just being created. I'm just I'm just being conceived, so to speak. So I have nothing to say, no input, no nothing. I'm all ears. You know, I'm listening, and to be honest with you, to my understanding, from what I can remember, TB wasn't really even in there much. He had very minimal interaction in the YTTA Zello group, from what I can remember. Same with Lil Sean. Very, very rarely did I hear those two voices in the group. There were people like SoCal, Saint For Real, the cat Green Lantern. I know him and SoCal are real tight. And forgive me if I'm gonna forget people, because you know what it is. Road Queen, Trout, Bow Shifter. I want to say I probably heard, now that I think about it, PH voice in there sparingly back then, because I think he was just kind of getting his wheels going with the whole process too. He was in the truck before me, but you know, he was like I said, just getting going as well. So try to think of a few other people, because there are some people that I do respect. Carolina Tanker was in there. Man, I'd be all day with that. But it was a large group of men and women. Peaches, I think her name was Peaches, was in there. Just a large group of individuals, man, who are still committed to the trucking game right now. So I respect them all day long, every day. So, but to say the least, I was attracted to that whole thing. You know, I slowly but surely would say little things. People will recognize me as I came in, have minimal and small conversations with me. But it was really a group to where, you know, you could go in there and hear people cutting up, shooting the shit. But if someone came in new or had a trucking question in general, you know, all the small talk conversations would stop, and collectively everybody would give their 2 cents and add on and try to build on whatever the person's issue was. So like I said, to me, it was great. Like, I had never even seen nothing like that before. Because I did music years ago and was in a group and stuff like that, and I know it's hard as heck to get a group of people on one page, especially a group of men. It's probably one of the most difficult things there are to do socially. But like I said, I was all in, man. It did come a point where the Facebook portion of everything was integrated, and something called the YTTA network was started. When the YTTA network was started, let me add Trucker Named Jay in there too. As far as on Zello, he was very instrumental on Zello. He really got his bones on Zello, to be honest. The YTTA network was started. There was a particular lineup of individuals who were already kind of close and had a good connection with each other. So LoShawn, TB, SoCal, Wright Brother. Wright Brother might have been in Zello a little bit too. I don't remember hearing his voice a whole lot. I could be wrong. But nonetheless, just because I didn't know about him doesn't mean that, you know, he wasn't already known within his circle of people. But like I said, Wright Brother, Saray, you know, there was individuals, and they started the YTTA network, which was each individual personality had their own time slot where, you know, they could come in, build on particular topics. I'm supposed to be doing something, huh? Build on particular topics and kind of just, you know, create content and you know, just generate interest. That whole thing happened. But with that happening, LoShawn made certain individuals admins and made certain individuals personalities. And to be honest with you, I didn't like that move. I don't know why he made it in particular. I never asked him because it's really none of my business. I don't have no issue with him in regards to it, but personally, I wouldn't have done it that way. But I think that move to do that with certain people really, one, struck a lot of people the wrong way, and kind of created and caused a wedge. Because like I said, the main honchos between TB and Lo, they wasn't in the RTI. I mean, I'm speaking way ahead of myself. They wasn't in the YTTA Zello room much. So to me, the people who kept the page or the group going was your SoCals, your Green Lanterns, your Carolinas, your Trouts, your bow shifters, your Road Queens, your Sunshine Martins. I don't mean to forget her. It was certain individuals that no matter what time of day, 3 a.m., 3 in the afternoon, there was individuals on there that kept everything popping and everything moving 7 days a week. Sundays might have been light and slow, but nonetheless, 7 days a week, you can get on that Zello, and somebody's going to react, and whether it's 3 o'clock in the morning, you dead tired and need somebody to talk to, and nobody back home is picking up the phone, you can get on Zello, find somebody who knows exactly what you're going through, and that'll build with you all night long if that's what it was. I look awful. I look sleepy. So with that, when that move was made to create the network, I don't know what way in which LaShawn decided who to go with and who not to go with. But when it was done, I know a lot of core members in that group felt a way about that. And me being an outsider and as a little embryo in the trucking game, I even thought that's a weird move, and I don't actually even agree with it. But nonetheless, the move was made. When that move happened, all of the individuals that I just been naming were kind of pushed out. That's where a lot of the dislike and I don't want to use the word hatred, but that's where a lot of the issues stem from, even that lasts until this day. When that whole move happened, the individuals that I honestly feel were very instrumental in keeping that Zello group, YTTA, alive, the concept of what they were doing was so good and so positive. Those individuals that were left out of the network, so to speak, is who started and formed the group RTI. Joey Eyeglass too, I don't want to forget him. I don't know if I said Artie, but Artie was in there too. That's what gave birth to the RTI group, Real Trucking Information, because those gentlemen and ladies that were still passionate about helping drivers exclusively still wanted to keep something going. So they created the Zello group RTI. Like I said, I had my feelings of it, but who am I? Even to this day, who am I? I ain't nobody. I ain't even been driving 2 years yet, so you can take any and everything I say, whatever. But nonetheless, when that happened, like I said, it was a weird feeling. But nonetheless, like I told you, I had already made my connections with TB. Not even verbally, because I had not even met him yet. Maybe a few words here on comments on pages. Like I said, I ain't gonna say he's never been in the group, but you know, very minimal, small conversations in regards to him. But with just, you know, Facebook and the whole 9 yards, and him being from VA, black, locks. I think his pops reminds me of my pops. Actually, the way they look and the way they act, to a degree. Because, you know, my pops been married a long time, so, you know, and Papa Bear does this naive. But that bond to me was already made. And like I said, I'm 42 years old, man. I come from Richmond, Virginia, Fulton Hill all day. When you make certain bonds with certain people, you know, that you connect with on various levels, you stick to your guns, man. That's just what it is. Eventually I got into trucking, came over to Swift, started my journey. On a rare humbug whim up in New Jersey, randomly, me and my trainer I'm riding there, I'm circling a truck stop because we can't find no parking. And we kind of just circling and trolling, so to speak, looking for an opening spot. My mentor goes in the store, and I honestly see somebody from the back that, man, I feel like I kind of recognize him, but like I said, I'm moving, literally making circles around the lot. So, probably not. So I'm sitting in the truck, And lo and behold, my mentor, my homeboy Ronnie, and Trucker Brown walk out of the store. So I'm sitting in the driver's seat of the truck like, yo, because at this time, you know, TB is a big deal in the trucking thing. And if anybody says different, they're a liar. I don't care what they say about him or how they feel about him, but if you can't say that TB has some influence on you, if you talk in the past 2 to 3 years and you black and young in trucking, you a liar. Now, so like I said, he's a big deal. So when I see him, I'm like, yo, because this dude literally and single-handedly was my motivation. You know what I'm saying? Exclusive from a lot of that other stuff. So to me, I'm like, yo, I'm seeing this like running in the jigger on a whim. So I get out of the truck, I'm like, yo. And I had made some small connections, like I said, on Facebook. So Air likes and he recognized me. And he's like, yo, I don't think he didn't even know my name, but I know he knew my face. And I definitely knew who he was. So if you go to TB's video, he actually shot a video of it. I was so in awe, to be completely honest with you, I forgot to pull my phone out to even get a picture with him, to even make a video about it myself, because that wasn't really even my thing. I was more so watching, taking in information. I ain't had nothing to give. But he shot a video, me and my mentor, outside of our Swift truck, because I was started doing flatbed at that time. But I had an issue with my first mentor, so I ended up going dry van nonetheless. Dry van gang. And so I mean, he sat, we chopped it up, and you know, had that exchange. So from that point on, I'm like, yo, that's my man's. Just because maybe not every intricate thing, but how he is, I like that type of dude. I always have. I am that type of dude. So to me, it was natural, it was easy. So from that point, that further created that bond. I went on to go solo and drive, and you know, there were various other Zello groups made and conversations had, and you know, people felt the way they felt. But nonetheless, like I said, when that separation happened, there was a lot of dislike for the YTTA network and its affiliates and those who were involved with it. Because like I say, a whole nother movement was made. That caused, that ripple effect, I think, is still in motion right now. That caused a lot of bad blood between a lot of people that maybe would never spill into anything physical. But on the surface of just what people would probably consider right or wrong, or just moral base, there's a lot of issues still to be had right now. And to be honest with you, probably a good amount of them are valid, but nonetheless. So to a lot of the people who, like I said, who I've accepted into the YTTA network, or just period, that in the past 12 months that have came into the fold, that may not fully know what or why certain things are taking place right now. That's why I say this is just about my understanding of the history of all of this, to try to give some form of understanding to those who may be curious, may just being nosy. But whatever the case is, like I said, my understanding is my understanding. Not yours, not someone else's, mine. So, you know, YTTA continues to grow, and there were some people who didn't like that much. But nonetheless, you know, once something to that magnitude is in motion, you really can't stop it. continue to grow, you know, continue to gain members, but nonetheless, the core was the core. I want to say Matty Ice came into the fold because TB was training at that time, so he was on the network as well. And to be honest with you, I wanted to be. I didn't know what I would say. I didn't know what I would bring to the table, but I wanted to be down. I liked what was going on, and you know, like I said, I wanted in, whether I deserved it or not. But nonetheless, Matty Ice was brought into that fold, so there was a good amount of people that were keeping the network going. And I want to say the first major hiccup in that whole situation was trucker named Jay. When Jay decided, and Jay's cool too. I met him a little later, another person that I met on the whim and that I can respect, and I do respect, and we're cool, so it ain't that either. Like I said, my understanding, bro, my understanding. He decided to do some different things. That created a few issues. Didn't stop nothing, but tension was there nonetheless, because J, TB, and Low probably had built a tighter and closer bond than probably anybody. You know, the time I seen TB, Low, Jay in a personal vehicle with Low's wife and everything, like, you know what I mean? They had formed something special. So I think when Jay decided to go his way, I think that created whatever that created. It wasn't positive though, just because I think, you know, it was personal things involved in it. So I don't want to speak on that too much because I don't have an understanding of that. I'm just giving you my outside looking in. So here we are at this point right now. Fast forward, you know, YTTA has done a lot of great things. Like I said, it influenced me to the point where I changed my whole life and was able to change my family's life. And I think that same thing has to ring true with a lot of other people. TB is not the easiest guy to take if you don't understand him or understand his way of thinking and just mentality overall. So either it's one of them things where you're going to either hate him or you're going to love him. He's a very polarizing person if that type of person affects you that way. You know what I'm saying? Do I agree with any and everything TB says? No. I mean, do I agree with anything anybody says? I don't agree with anything my father and mother says. You know, I'm my own man. But I ride with my folks. I mean, this ain't on no street stuff. Like I said, I'm 40-some years old, so I ain't on that kick, but I rock with who I rock with. And that's just how I go, because I know what it's meant to me, how it changed my life. So I'm YTTA for life, and that's just how that go. I've accepted a lot of groups to be in them, and if you scroll down my Facebook, you may see me comment on a page here or group there, but I'm YTTA. So we fast forward to right now, you know, with the recent events, SoCal decided to make the move that he made, which is in his right to do. You know, I ain't mad at him for making it. I'm sure he got his own personal reasons, because like I said, these individuals they were talking about have long-standing relationships, conversations on the phone, you know what I mean? Like, they have relationships that us on the outsiders, including myself, I consider myself an outsider when it comes to certain people's relationships, because I've never met SoCal myself, that those issues went the way that they went, and people dealing with them the way they deal with them. So I kind of stay out of the way of that, you know. Men gonna be men. Men gonna do what they do. And that's just how they go. Let me go see if I can top off my coolant real quick. But so with this, like I said, the recent events that's happened here recently. Cold fill. I think I might on the coolant. I don't know if you can see that. It's my cold fill line right there. I think I'm right there on it, so I feel good about that. But like I said, a lot of those individuals have their own thing, bro. So it ain't for me, you, or nobody to say. So like I said, there's some people who just don't like certain people, and that's fine, bro. That's life. If anybody who been to high school, who from any hood environment, you already know y'all can live on the same block, grow up together, but you don't like everybody that's around your way, that you be with, that you build with. Y'all don't always see eye to eye on everything, and you don't always build relationships with everybody that you know. You may know them, know of them, have some run-ins, but for the most part, if you don't click with certain people, you don't click with them. That's just how I go. But for me, like I said, coming up how I come up and have come up, I don't mind being loyal to something if I rock with it. That's just how I go. Like just a small example, like any and everybody knows, you get with a company like Swift or any of the quote unquote starter companies, you do that, you get your year in, and you bounce. I've been with Swift from the beginning and have no real plans on leaving. Some people would say that's crazy. Some people will call me foolish for it. Everybody that I went to school with, CDL class, my homeboy Jerry, my boy Dom, he out there. Man, Joe, probably a few other people I'm forgetting. None of them are with Swift anymore. I'm the only one. I'm executing the game plan that I started from the beginning. I got my wife on the truck, which was all a part of my plan. I stayed company for the year that I chose to, which was all a part of my plan. And I'm running team with my wife on the lease tip, which was all part of my plan. So I have no issue with being dedicated to something. I have no issue with being committed to something, because once my mind is made up on it, that's what it's going to be. It's not about me following and being a follower of, or, being some type of sheep, so to speak. Because if that's the case, I wouldn't be here, because they spoke up against me staying here, you know what I'm saying? And just casual conversation. But what I wanted to do was stick to my guns and stick to my script. And that's what I did. And it's respected among my circles. Even if they wouldn't do it themselves, they respect and understand why I did it and why I do it. So like I said, it's just my understanding of the recent events. So for all those that kind of don't know or don't understand, or kind of sitting back eating your popcorn, seeing what's going on and just giggling over here and jumping from over here to over there, like, I'm not really want to do all that. I'm just kind of getting to the point where I'm peeping out different videos and different people's stuff and getting different people's information on stuff, because I never was really interested in knowing and seeing what everybody was doing. I'm more of a tunnel vision type of dude. I may peek left, peek right. Well, I should say peek left, peek right. But for the most part, I see my target. I'm locked on it, and I'm going, and that's kind of what it is to me. So, like I said, it's just my understanding of, or 2 cents, so to speak, of the most recent events. So, whomever or whatever you choose to do with this information, I just wanted to give it. Like I said, I didn't want to per se take side, because I really don't have a side. But I guess I do have a side, because YTTA sparked me, it started me off, and it has helped sustain me. Issues and questions that I've had, the ladies and gentlemen within this organization or group of like minds gave me the jewels necessary to keep my thing going. And for that, I'm forever grateful for that. So just to wrap this up real quick, I'm right at 35 minutes. The bottom line is, this is my understanding of the history of YTTA and why my commitment will never waver. Because it's YTTA for life. Whether the network page goes down, because it's still the affiliates page is up. The network was more so certain individuals who did certain things and certain broadcasts and posted certain videos. That was never the home of YTTA when it comes to the vast array of members. The network was more of where you went for content from the people who, quote unquote, leaded or headed the group overall. And I kind of agree that even though I was made an admin to the point where I could post a lot of stuff, I posted some, but I don't think I did a good job at staying consistent with it. And as YouTube pages grew and YouTube followers grew and that whole thing, and people making money, super chats, you know, Facebook kind of got shied away from, because there was more to gain from the YouTube aspect of it. So with the network page being stopped, it is what it is, man. But we still here. I'm still here. You still here. So all I can say is stick and stay, shawty. But again, this is my understanding of the history of YTTA and why my commitment and my loyalty would never waver. It's your boy YTTA I, man. Married to the miles, don't forget. We'll be right back at you. Shout out to all the real, man. And that's all the real. Regardless of where you at, where you stand on it, if you out here doing what you gotta do, taking care of yours, I salute, because that's just how I get down. I'm out though. Peace.
Bank rolls, yeah, I made myself a boss. Had to learn from my mistakes, yeah, I had to take a loss. They say it costs to be the boss, them niggas nailed to the cross. When that pack touch down, we gon' call it Randy Moss. When that pack touch down, we gon' call it Randy Moss. When that pack touch down, we gon' call it Randy Moss. Had to learn from my mistakes, had to make myself a boss.